Maine State Police are investigating a homicide after a paddleboarder was found deceased in Union on Thursday. Maine game wardens requested the assistance of Maine State Police based on the circumstances surrounding the discovery, according to a press release from Maine State Police. Following an autopsy, the death of 48-year-old Sunshine Stewart was ruled as a homicide, although authorities have not released a cause of death at this time. Maine State Police are asking for the public's help with their ongoing investigation. They say that anyone who may have seen Stewart paddling on Wednesday, July 2nd from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. near 100 Acre Island on Crawford Pond is asked to call them at 207-624-7076. At the end of their press release, Maine State Police encouraged the public to remain aware of their surroundings and to report any suspicious behavior to law enforcement.